It's November 10th, 2017, and it's the first snow of the year. It's not going to accumulate much, but as you can see, it's starting to kind of come on the ground a little bit. It's an early snow, but we always get these in November. Fortunately, the snow went away, and I'd like to say this first. I love having discussions with people who are Democrats also, and I always keep an open mind and open ears to what they have to say. But I definitely lean further to the right than I do the left, and I'm going to mention the main reasons that I do. First of all, I think it's important to say that I think each individual has a right to control their own destiny with very little government intervention. Obviously, there has to be some sort of government intervention in order for us to have, a civil society, like public roads, schools, the military, police, those sort of things. I think those are very necessary government interventions that our society has, and it'd be really hard to have a society if we didn't have those sort of government intervention. But I think, there's definitely a lot of government interventions that can be avoided, and I think we pay too much money and we could be using the money for better things. So those things would be like definitely welfare recipients. I think it's hard to say how you reduce this because there'd be mass protesting and rioting if all of a sudden we just said you're not getting your welfare check, which I don't think people are entitled to get, but they think they are. So there should be mandatory work. If you do want to get a welfare check, drug testing, that sort of thing. But ultimately, I don't like welfare at all. I think it should be gradually, people should be cut off the welfare system, especially those who don't work at all and continue to have very high birth rates, and then their offspring aren't probably going to work either. So I think those programs are destructive. We need to cut back on the welfare system and train people on how to live a productive life where they provide for themselves and for their families, rather than breaking up families and encouraging them to take advantage of the system, because that's not a healthy lifestyle, and it's not the way we are intended to live. As far as government assistance programs that I'm more tolerable of, they would include Social Security for elderly, because I generally feel like they've worked for it, and then severely disabled people. Obviously I have a disability, but I don't think it's severe enough, and I don't live off Social Security. I don't intend to, unless maybe I'm really old. That'll be the only time I would, but I know I could if I really wanted to, but I choose not to because I don't think, like I said, mine's severe enough. And I've got a great job now, and I think that's important. If you do have a disability, you look for a job that you're suited for, rather than one that you're gonna hate and you're gonna rather live off the government than have a job. Because I know there's something out there for basically everybody. Unemployment, I can see, for a short amount of time, probably shorter than it is right now, because it generally takes, a few months to find a good job after you do lose your job. So that way, your quality of life doesn't drop significantly after you lose your job. You can, get unemployment for a little bit while you find a new job. And I think, people would find jobs quicker if we did cut the unemployment back. As far as immigration is concerned, I think obviously legal immigration should be allowed and welcomed. Welcome people legally with open arms. But illegal immigration, I don't like. I'm not really pro the wall, but I kind of am. I'm definitely for patrolling the southern border, but whether I think the wall is a good idea, it's sort of a good idea. I think it'll keep some out, but I don't think it's really going to help, because we have, the Atlantic Ocean, and people can build roads over a wall, and they'll find a way to get here and dig tunnels under walls. But it does kind of send a message if you're illegal, you shouldn't come to the country. But we'd love to, welcome you legally. But, just, illegal immigration to, from third world countries to first world countries, it shouldn't happen. But those are some of the main topics that I wanted to discuss today. But one of my favorite quotes, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country, which John F. Kennedy gave that during his inauguration. I'm definitely supportive of the troops and, the flag, and always stand for the flag, like during the national anthem and that sort of thing. And the main reason I see the destruction of our society, I think, is, the media. I think that plays a big role, because there's some very entertaining movies out there that promote, drugs, alcohol, sex before marriage, those sort of degenerate things that can harm our society because they make it look cool to do these things. But I think if our media was farther right and kind of more Christian oriented, I think our society would be a better place, rather than promoting the drugs and alcohol and a lot of things that they do promote. That's kind of why I don't watch television much, because there's just so much degeneracy out there. There are some TV shows that I do find entertaining every now and then, if I happen to do watch television or a movie, but a lot of times they don't promote the things that I believe in. So that's why I don't like to watch them, because I don't like to get in that mindset of the things, the core values of my life, that I don't like to steer away from those by watching some sort of degenerate movie.